Time for Before You Buy, coming up at a brand new ASUS Transformer, the phone everybody wants, and this weird thing. It's called the Airstash. What do you think it's for? You'll find out next on Before You Buy.
Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit. Bandwidth for Before You Buy is brought to you by Cachefly at CACHEFLY.com. Before You Buy is brought to you by Stamps.com. Start using your time more effectively with Stamps.com. Use Stamps.com to buy and print real U.S. postage the instant you need it right from your desk. To get my special offer, visit Stamps.com now, click on the radio microphone and enter Before You Buy. At Stamps.com, use the offer code Before You Buy. And by Ting.com. Ting gives you big savings and billing clarity for mobile phone service. Ting is running a Dump Your Contract contest and will buy out one winner's mobile service contract each day for the month of May. Go to ting.com/DYC to enter. Welcome to Before You Buy. Leo Laporte here, and this is the show where we take products, the latest, greatest products, and we let everybody on the Twit staff have at them, and we get great reviews back. So we've got some exciting products for you to take a look at, starting with this. This is the ASUS. You remember the Transformer Prime? This is a new one from ASUS, the Transformer Pad. How's it different? Jordan Nemero has a story.
Hey guys, Jordan here, front desk engineer, front desk supervisor, front desk extraordinaire, really. And I'm here to review the ASUS Transformer 300 pad. It's an incredible product. I'm super stoked about it. Finally, a tablet that's comparable to the iPad. I'm not necessarily a big Apple person, so I was very excited when I found something that I'm able to operate and use that's not an Apple product that has the same benefits as the iPad. It's a 10.1-inch NVIDIA Tegra 3 quad-core. It weighs about 1.4 pounds and comes shipped with Android 4.0 ice cream sandwich. Let me just turn it on there. It's extremely fast. I originally had the old Transformer, and I could tell an enormous difference with this one. Let me pull up some apps and just show you the transition. I love that new transition with the ice cream sandwich. Very responsive, very quick. It comes with 1 GB RAM and 16 gig hard drive. The price is $380 for that 16 gig. And I believe about $400 to upgrade with the to the 32 gig. As opposed to the Prime, the Transformer Prime, which I'm comparing this to, comes standard with 32 gig and upgradable to 64 gigs. The price on that begins at $500. So the value you're getting with this tablet is incredible. Let me talk about the camera quality. It's similar to, it's actually exactly the same as the Prime. It's 1.2 megapixels front-facing camera and an 8 megapixel back-facing, rear-facing camera. The difference between this camera and the camera on the Prime is this one does not come with an LED light. Let me take a picture right here in our studio. Let's go with the floor. Everyone likes the floor. The quality on that camera is incredible. This also comes with a panoramic mode. So you're able to take a picture of a 180, and as it puts it together, it'll pull up a 180 panoramic picture. There you have it, the panoramic picture. The battery life on this device is roughly, it says 10 hours, although I haven't been able to test it with just the tablet itself because what I've been using is this marvelous device, accessory, the keyboard, which turns this tablet into a small netbook or laptop, which is incredible. So as you can see, I very simply just attach it right there, and you have yourself your own little netbook. I was skeptical as to utilizing the keyboard and the tablet at the same time. I'm used to using a keyboard and a mouse. This is actually, it's quite simple. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but it's really useful to just be able to then I'm able to, I can just click there and I'm able to actually interact with the interface on the screen and use the keyboard at the same time. Another thing I found very attractive about this device is the speaker. I was blown away by the quality of the speaker. My old transformer doesn't compare close to this, not even a little bit. It's hard, I mean, it's going to be tough to give it justice. It comes out of this little speaker right here, and it really enhances the quality from what it had before. So this device comes standard with an HDMI input and a micro SD slot. But when you put it into the keyboard accessory, you are able to get a USB port and a full SD card. My pros for this device would be the concept of intertwining the tablet and the keyboard into a more functioning tablet. That's one thing that I know a lot of people have trouble, is they're not able to input a lot of content with the typing on a tablet. Another pro would be the speed and accessibility of everything within the tablet. Because of the new processor and everything, it's very quick, very speedy. For my cons, I would say the mouse, the tracking pad itself is a little sensitive, and sometimes when you're typing and you accidentally touch it with your thumb, it'll reverse itself and it'll start at whatever point you touched. It gets a little annoying. I'm sure it's something that you can overcome with practice. Another con for me is the LED light. I like to have an LED light. I feel it's important with your pictures if you're in dark settings. Overall, I would absolutely say buy. There's really nothing here that's going to deter me from buying it, and the price, $380, is an incredible value. So thank you, and hopefully you enjoyed my review.
That's Jordan Nemro, who works most of the time at the front desk, but he does all sorts of things. In fact, he drove the truck to NAB. He's a truck driver as well. Thank you, Jordan. Before we go on to this, which is, arguably the hottest Android phone out there right now, even though the Samsung Galaxy S3 just came out, this is still pretty exciting, and I think we're going to give this to the old pro to review. Eileen Rivera will have her take on this. But before we do, let me talk a little bit about the post office and why you don't have to go there. Don't go there. Nothing wrong with it. I love the post office. But with Stamps.com, you can bring the post office to you. Stamps.com lets you print your own legal, official U.S. postage right from your own computer and printer. No special inks needed, no postage meter, just Stamps.com, Mac or PC. And with this special offer that I'm going to tell you about in just a moment, you get a USB scale, so you always have exactly the right postage. No more putting extra stamps on just to make sure. That's a waste of money. Pay not 1 penny more than you need to. This postage meter, or the postage scale, goes right in the USB port. Stamps.com software sees it, says, okay, let me print this out. They'll even print out the forms you need for priority mail, express mail, even international mail. And you know what I love about Stamps.com? You can get discounts, because the post office loves Stamps.com as much as I do. You can get discounts you can't get at the post office. Up to 21% on express mail, up to 15% on priority mail. Stamps.com. If you are an Amazon or an eBay seller, the forms are automatically printed, the stamps, the postage, everything done automatically for you. Never go to the post office again with Stamps.com. Now, here is our special deal. Go back to that webpage, Stamps.com. Now, you see right there on the front, $80 value. Forget that. Click that microphone in the upper right-hand corner that says, heard about it on a podcast, and enter in our Before You Buy offer code. One word, no space, Before You, B-U-Y. That's going to turn that $80 offer into a $110 offer, $55 in free postage. More free postage when you use our offer code before you buy. You also get the USB scale. You just pay shipping and handling for that. A supplies kit and a 4-week trial. Visit Stamps.com right now. Use the offer code before you buy to get that really good $110 bonus offer. I'll tell you what, once, you know, I introduced Stamps.com to the office, I've been using it for a decade, but once I introduced it to the office here, that's it. And it's Jordan, actually. Every time I borrow the USB scale, Jordan comes back and takes it. Stamps.com. Use the offer code before you buy. You know, when a good, hot Android phone comes into the office, there's just no way anybody but Eileen's going to get their mitts on it. I've been wanting to take a look at this thing. This is so exciting. This is the new HTC. They announced this in Barcelona at the Mobile World Congress just last month. It's out now. Eileen Rivera, my esteemed producer, takes a look at the new HTC One X.
Hey everyone, Eileen Rivera here with Twit.tv, and before you buy, I have a hot new phone in my hands. I'm so excited to review the HTC One X. This is available on AT&T and it'll be available on May 6th. So what we have here is a gorgeous 4.7 HD Super LCD 2 screen, that's 1280 by 720. Gorgeous colors coming out of this device, and it's also running 1.5 gigahertz dual-core Qualcomm Snapdragon S4 processor. Now it's different from the international version, which is quad-core, but I don't really think that makes too much of a difference, at least on my end. It's also running Android 4.0. It actually is shipping with Ice Cream Sandwich, the latest operating system from Android. And as it says down here, it is running HTC's new Sense version 4.0. Now the Ice Cream Sandwich version, of course this is not a vanilla Ice Cream Sandwich version, so there's a little bit of differences here. For instance, the Task Manager looks like this, and I get rid of recent apps that way. Folders are a little bit different, not the traditional circle that you would see with a vanilla device. But other than that, everything here, processing-wise, the speed runs really snappy and very, very fluid. You'll see as I change from app to app. Let me launch a browser here. Super quick, super snappy. That's relatively fast considering how much is on this page. And this is not the mobile version. They've given you the full website page here. Storage on this device is only 16 gigs, not 32. There's no 32 gig option like you can have with the international version, so that's kind of a ding. Has 1 gig of memory. The battery on this thing is an 1800 milliamp lithium ion, and it's embedded, so it's non-removable. You can't take the battery out. That might be a deal breaker for some people. Taking a look at the design of this camera itself, it's super lightweight, has a polycarbonate unibody design here. Really nice, and on the edges here, it's a matte finish on the back side here, and then on the side there's a little bit of gloss. Again, this is running on AT&T's HSPA Plus network, and if your city has it, LTE, very, very fast speeds. And again, super, super light. The power button up here, speakers. And now this includes Beats. HTC has been touting the Beats audio system. But another thing amazing about this phone is the camera. 8 megapixel camera in the back with an LED flash and a 1.3 megapixel camera on the front. It is definitely the best camera I have used on an Android phone as of yet. The picture quality is amazing. You get 720p video, and you get a wide angle lens here. Look at that photo. Macro shots. The camera speed and taking photos, really, really snappy. Here, I'll put my shoe in here. That's how fast it is. Just amazing quality. The video quality is just as great too.
And on the sidewalk.
No, I wasn't suggesting.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not suggesting you could.
There's even slow-mo video. I love that. Panorama, HDR, Lots of options on this phone and great picture quality. Again, this is a 4.7-inch display. That might be a little too big for some of you out there. I'm a little skittish about having a 4.7-inch phone myself. It is pretty big in the hand, and you have a hard time, like me, moving unless I hold it with two hands to get up to notifications, as you can see here. Again, not a deal breaker for everyone, but if there are those of you out there who have an iPhone and you're thinking about upgrading, you know, these phones are pretty big. All right, pros and cons. Well, first of all, the display is gorgeous, as I mentioned, the Super LCD display. The processing, the speed of the phone itself is just super snappy, and the camera just cannot be beat. I swear this is the best camera I've used on an Android phone as of yet. Cons, lack of micro SD storage and 16 gig only availability. I don't know, if you're a digital hoarder like me, you might want a little bit more bang for your buck. But overall, buy, try, or don't buy. This is the top of the line Android phone, and I'm really glad HTC has come out with it. I say it's a buy.
The HTC One X from AT&T. It's kind of impressive that you know, they keep coming out with better and better Android phones. Next, we're going to get the Galaxy S3. It just constantly being updated. I just love the screen on this. It's just beautiful. It's just really gorgeous. All right, time for our mini reviews. We have the full-length reviews on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/twit, and you can go there to get the full review. But this is just a quickie review. Sarah Lane, we're trying to get her to do another review because I just love her. She's so tiny. She's so petite. And we thought, since she's the host of iPad Today, she'd like to take a look at this. This is the Logitech iPad keyboard. Sarah?
Hey everyone, Sarah Lane from Twit here, and I'm showing off my brand new iPad cover. It's awesome, right? It's nice and metallic. It matches the iPad really well. But wait, there's more. Actually, it is the Logitech Ultra Thin keyboard cover, which happens to also be a keyboard. So this is 99 bucks. Pretty awesome price considering that you're getting a keyboard that is Bluetooth enabled. That means that this thing is technically wireless. Even though it has a nice dock stand, if I wanted to use my smart cover, let's say I was really farsighted or something and I wanted my iPad back here while I was typing, it would work just as well. So the stand part of it is kind of just a bonus. Now once you're in here, it turns into a bit of a hybrid, as any Bluetooth keyboard would be, or keyboard at all. So I can go ahead and use my screen, touch screen, as normal, but anytime I want to start typing, that's when the keyboard comes in. So this is very nice for all of those times where I sit down and I want to write a nice long letter, but I really don't want to do it on my iPad because it's just kind of frustrating and cumbersome. What's nice about this keyboard while it's open for me, because I decided to choose the new iPad in black, is that it matches perfectly. It's a little shiny, and so it's a little thumbprinty, but at least it looks like it's meant to be part of the deal. I'm not sure how much I would like it if I had a white iPad docked on this, but for black it's fine. Even though I use my new iPad, it will also work with the 2nd gen iPad. The first, too thick. Only 2nd gen and new iPad. What's kind of cool, here's a little trick here, is that let's say I'm looking through my apps, I have a ton of apps, and I'm on, page 4. I've got this little button here, upper left-hand corner of my keyboard, looks like a little square. What is that? Hey, home button, that's kind of handy. Press it again, now I'm into search, and I can go ahead and search for an app. I don't have any apps called DFGHGFDD, but if I did, that would be an easy way to search. From search, if I'm back to square one, I go ahead and hit that home button again. So I do really like that. That's a nice little extra. Now, of course, it is a Bluetooth enabled keyboard, so what you have to do with any Bluetooth device is go into your settings, general, go into settings, general, Bluetooth. The keyboard has a little power button that turns on and off on the side, so once it's powered on, your iPad should pick it up. Once it picks up, you go ahead and pair it, and you're good to go. As you can see, Logitech Ultra Thin keyboard cover is right here, and I've already connected it. Now, you've got a little LED light here nothing, no news is good news when it comes to these LED lights. When it starts to blink red, it means your batteries are running low. Okay, well, it's wireless and it's Bluetooth, what do? Mini USB cable comes with the $99 device. It goes right into the side of the keyboard cover. And remember to put it in the right way, because these things are kind of fragile. And the other side goes into anything that can power it, your MacBook or some other powered USB device. So that's kind of it. I really like this thing. I never really realized how much I like the idea of an external keyboard until I actually used it. What I found was that I was just avoiding writing very much on my iPad. And with all the apps that are designed for productivity, note-taking, journaling, all of that good stuff, or even just long-form emails, if you're that kind of person, this is a really good solution for you. And at $100, I think it's pretty attractive. It's a cover, it's a stand, you can use it on the go, powers up well, looks pretty good, and not that heavy, all things considered. So I think this is absolutely a definite buy. For Twit, I am Sarah Lane, and I'm gonna go write something now.
I'm Tony from Twit, and today I'm reviewing the Fujifilm FinePix HS25 EXR. As you can see here, we got a digital SLR looking camera with all the buttons that you would expect. And it's got this pretty large lens with 30x zoom. It's manual, so you gotta twist it yourself, extend the lens yourself. But you can go all the way up to 720 millimeter, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. And it's from 24 to 720. And the aperture is, the widest aperture is 2.8. So it's not the fastest camera out there. You also get a pop-out flash. And so the best feature they have on this camera, personally, I think, is the swivel screen. This is very useful. This is very useful when you're outdoor and you're getting a lot of glare on your camera and on your display, so you can tilt it. Got a very wide range of motion here. And there's also a sensor in here that switches the display to the iView finder, the EV finder. I don't know how many megapixel this camera is, because in the setting I'm shooting right now, it says auto. So I could set manually the megapixel count from 8 megapixel and down, but above 8 megapixel, it's in auto mode, so I don't really know. There's a few issues with this camera. First, it's still using double A's. It takes 4 double A's, and it's included in the camera, so when you buy it, you can use it out of the box. My first digital camera, see, this is not very well made. My first camera was a Fujifilm S5000. I paid probably $450 for it, and it was 3.1 megapixel. And that was better made than this camera, which is literally 9 years later. So that's one of the issues with this camera, and the price has gone down. This is $349.99. Pros and cons of this camera: the swivel display is very sturdy and very well made, bright enough that you can see the display in bright sunlight. Another pro of the camera is that it actually does video very well in HD, and you can actually do a lot of creative shots with such a large zoom range. The layout of all the buttons are actually very ergonomic. The only button I have issue pressing is the EVF lock button over here. It's a little reach around the display, which is protruding. Con of the camera, the zoom, you're actually turning the barrel the wrong way. If you compare this to a digital SLR, you actually turn clockwise to zoom out, and this is actually backwards. The camera, the overall quality of the camera doesn't feel very good. It's got a rubberized grip, and it just feels very cheap, and so the build quality is an issue. The autofocus is not the most reliable. There's some issues with exposure. So another con of the EVF, which is overly sensitive. So if I'm trying to shoot something and I'm zoomed in and I'm holding it close to my body to keep it stable, it turns off the display, so I can't see what I'm shooting. And the EVF lock only locks it to the EVF, and it doesn't come back. So the moment I unlock it, I have the same sensor issue where this display just goes out. Buy, try, or don't buy. I would have to say don't buy. This camera is not aimed at professionals. It's for amateurs and beginner photographers. But the automated feature on this camera, the EXR, is just not working like it's supposed to. And it's not really helpful. I'm Tony for Twit, and this is the Fujifilm FinePix HS25 EXR.
Our treacherous little ball of steel, Sarah Lane, and the Logitech keyboard, and then Tony Wang's pan. I think it's safe to say pan. Thumbs down on the H25 ESR from Fujifilm. Like, he's kind of a camera snob, you know. You get the full reviews at youtube.com/twit. Thanks to Sarah and Tony for their reviews. Coming up, Colin Weir, our streaming engineer, is going to review something called the Airstash. Whatever could it do? I leave this to your imagination. Before we do that, I am going to talk about phones. I'm going to talk about Ting.com. When Elliot Noss, who runs Tucows, came to me in the fall and said, Leo, we want to kind of completely change how cell phones work, I thought, how are you going to do that? And he's done it. Ting.com. If you don't love your phone company, and I know none of you do, you got to take a look at this. First of all, they're using Sprint. So if you've got good Sprint coverage, you're going to love it. And by the way, some of the top phones out there available, including the Photon, which is an incredible, incredible phone, right there. Now, notice you're paying higher prices. That's because these aren't subsidized phones. There's no early termination fee. There's no contract. You're month to month. And the phone is yours. You own it. You're not kind of renting it from the phone company. And I'm going to give you an even better price in a moment. But here's the thing I really like about Ting. You choose the plan you want. You buy minutes, text, and data separate. The truth is, you can choose 0. You don't have to. You just pay $6 a month for the phone, each phone. Great for a family or a business even. And then just pay for what you use. Or get a plan, and they will refund you the cost for minutes you don't use, for messages you don't use, for megabytes you don't use. Wait a minute. Wait a minute, you're telling me no contract, month to month, no early termination fee, free voicemail, picture and video messaging, 3-way calling, caller ID, tethering, hotspot, free, and you only pay for what you use, and you don't pay a penalty if you use more than the plan? You're telling me? That's Ting.com. We got a special deal right now. If you go to Ting.com/DYC, you can dump your contract. Ting.com/DYC. Every day in the month of May, Ting.com is going to buy one winner out of their mobile service contract and move them over to Ting.com. Oh, please. Let me, please. I have a special deal, too. $50 off your new device. $50 off your new device when you go to Ting.com/BYB. Ting.com/BYB. Ting is amazing. Is that wrong? Sorry. Before you buy. So let me do that again. And we got a special deal for you. $50 off your new device, so that cuts the price considerably. If you go to beforeyoubuy.ting.com. Beforeyoubuy.ting.com. And these are the devices. The details are very nice. All of these are nice. The Photon, if you're one of those people who has to have the latest. Personally, I would get the Galaxy 2S. S2, rather, 4G. I think that's a really nice phone. I have that. Actually, that exact phone on Sprint. It would be exactly the same on Ting. And take $50 when you go to beforeyoubuy.ting.com. Just cut it right off there. That's less than I paid. Damn it. Wish I'd known about Ting. Ting.com/DYC to dump your contract and beforeyoubuy.ting.com. We love them. We thank them for their support. You're going to love them, too. Colin Weir, come on in here. Sit down. Colin is... Radio Boy, right? Radio Colin.
Radio Boy, but that was taken in a lot of places.
You've grown up.
So I went for
Radio
Radio
Colin. He's all grown up. I like the goatee. Actually, I met Colin online because he sent us an email saying, why are your streams so screwed up?
Now they're a little less screwed up. I'm still working,
I said,
but...
You're hired. And now your job? Fix them. They're
right.
a lot less screwed up. You've done a great job. So as you know, the whole idea of this show is we get the products in. Our great Nicole Lee gets everything in, and then we let you. Did you choose to review this?
I did.
You volunteered for the Airstash. Okay, I know what I think it does, but maybe not. I see a USB key. What is the Airstash?
Right. So what the Airstash is a USB drive that works with your mobile device.
Now I noticed
if you look on the bottom,
it's got a little SD card. So you provide your own memory in this.
It comes with either an 8 gig or a 16 gig card.
But you could put a 32.
But you can put your own in, so it's effectively unlimited storage, which is a really great feature.
Oh, that is nice. Now we looked at something very similar, which was the Seagate GoFlex.
Right. It's similar to that, but instead of a hard drive, it just uses a flash card.
And you could bring with you, I mean, flash cards are cheap now.
Right. You could
put a bunch of movies on flash cards.
Exactly.
Bring them with you, and then when the kids say, we want to see Toy Story 3, you pop that in there.
Right.
Now, how does it work?
So then you can go and you take your mobile device.
All right. I have it here, actually. I can sign
ready there?
to it. Yeah. So I've got an iPad. And just like the GoFlex, I'm going to join the Stash Wi-Fi.
Right. So that's one downside is because once you're on the Airstash Wi-Fi network, you can't connect to the internet with your device. Now, it's not a huge deal because you're really not going to be switching in and out of videos, on the fly to go check Twitter that much. But it's kind of a pain to jump back and forth and switch Wi-Fi.
So this turns this now into a non-connected device.
So you're on the Airstash Wi-Fi network, but you have no internet connectivity.
Now, I also, ahead of time, downloaded a special app that's...
it works with the app, or you can just go to airstash.net in your browser.
Oh, it'll work on the browser.
And it has a web interface, too, if you're on a platform
I kind of like this, though,
that doesn't have an app.
It browsed the stash very quickly and saw what movies you've got on here.
Right. You just load this up on your computer. You plug it into the USB drive. You make folders, with your content. You can do music. Photos, videos, documents. 8 people at a time can connect to it, which is a really nice feature.
So this could become a movie server in the hotel room or in the car.
It could. If you're having a business meeting and you want to put some documents on it, you can...
so these are the images
you can do that.
You just put on the USB card.
Right. I just threw some pictures on there.
Aww. Yeah, it's cute. That's cool.
It is. It's
Let's play back some video. Now, what about copy protection? Do I have to have...
So if you go to the first one there, you'll see you'll get a little prompt, and what it will actually do, this is an iTunes protected video, and it'll just open it in mobile Safari, which will take care of all the DRM. And obviously you don't need an internet connection
Presumably
for that,
there's an unlock. Really?
So, womp womp.
Can't open it. So this one it couldn't. It doesn't always do it, or did this work
I know
once?
why, because you don't have my iTunes account on your iPad. So not just anyone.
It works with
use
iTunes protected music as long as I have here. I can do it here. Yeah. As long as I have the iTunes account logged in on my iPad.
Right. As long as you're logged into the iTunes store.
So we're going to get the same message. This works on iPad and iPhone. Does it work on Android?
Yeah. I'm not sure if they have an app for Android because I don't have an Android device, but if there's no app, you can do it in the browser on Android too.
And this is the protected content.
So this is an iTunes DRM file. It's an episode of Community.
And it's streaming right off this. Right. So this is a Wi-Fi access spot plus some storage.
Right. The battery life, they say 5 hours of streaming SD video, or no, 7 hours of streaming SD video, 5 hours of HD video. And then you can just kind of extrapolate up from there. If you're sharing documents, you can probably get upwards of 10 hours out of the battery.
You could actually look at PDFs or anything you could open, I guess.
Yeah, anything you can open on iOS,
say,
you can put on there.
The streaming is perfect. I mean, right? The frame rate's good. Everything works.
The frame rate's good. I didn't run into any buffering issues.
Let's look
it played smoothly.
Let's look at something. This is Carnegie Mellon University. This is a talk, Randy Pausch's last lecture. And so this is unprotected content.
Right.
Same thing though, and the quality is as good as it is if you were looking at it on TV.
Yeah, it's just like having it, on your iPad, but you don't have to, if you're using a 16 gig iPad, you don't have to go and take up all that space with these videos. I think it's really great for someone if you spend a lot of time on airplanes and you want to store up a big video library. You can just keep it on an infinite amount of flash cards, and you never have to.
That's one drawback on the GoFlex. Now, the GoFlex has a lot of storage. It has half a gigabyte, half a terabyte, or a terabyte. But the idea that you could have, and it's easy to copy the things on, data onto the little cards.
Right. You just drag it over on your computer. So this is a PDF.
It just opens in the. Is it opening in the Airstash app?
Yeah.
Okay.
One other nice feature.
You could also send it over, of course, to iBooks.
Right. You can bounce it out to things. Yeah. Another nice feature is you can also import photos from this to your photo library from the software.
Oh, let's take a look. So we've got some photos, as we saw earlier. Let me take a photo of you and your girlfriend. Aww,
so then I believe it's if you hit that little plus button down on the bottom.
Right down here.
No, if you tap on...
Not that one? Let's cancel that.
If you just tap on the picture to bring up the overlay.
I see. This plus button.
Yeah.
Here. I see.
And then that will let you import it to your camera roll. So this can also double as a camera kit. If you're out shooting, you can pop your SD card into the Airstash and then copy it over.
That is cool. And look how fast it did that. That is really interesting. Of course, it's because it has the image on here now.
Right. So that's a nice feature.
Wow. So how much is it?
It's $129 for the 8 gig, and I think it's $145 for the 16. So it's a little pricey. You have to really want it and think you're going to get a lot of use out of it.
And it will use any USB card.
You can use any SDHC card with it.
Not USB, SD.
If you're worried about security, you can do WEP encryption on it. That's the most advanced it supports. So, don't put your confidential stuff on it, but...
That's fine. I don't think that's such a big deal. And once again, because Damage is asking our chat room, 5-hour battery life.
They say 5 hours for HD, 7 for SD video, and music and documents use less. So
did you actually sit down and watch something for 5 hours?
I left it sit for a while.
Oh, good.
It was pretty close to what they claimed.
Well, you're the streaming video wizard, and that's I wouldn't say the mustache. That was your idea.
Right. That's my biggest con is that the marketing is not mustache based. They missed such an opportunity.
So let's get the pros.
So the pros, swappable storage.
Yep.
Up to 8 people can connect to it at a time. It's got good battery life, and you don't have to take up space on your device with the movies you might want to watch. The cons, not so great encryption. You can only get up to WEP. Not a big deal, but some of the more security conscious might not like that. The cap, I'm surprised I didn't lose it.
You don't have to have it. But
you don't have to have it, but it'll drift away.
Yeah.
It doesn't attach. It can't mount anywhere else on the device.
All right, so there's the Airstash, the pros, the cons. What do you say? Buy or not?
I'm going to give it a try. I think there are some people that this could be really valuable for, but the price makes it not something everyone is going to want.
Right. Yeah, it's comparable to the GoFlex, but if you want more storage, more price.
I think the swappable storage is a big advantage for this one.
Yeah.
And then you can use it to import.
As a camera kit.
Yeah, as a camera kit.
Radio Colin Weir, he's our streaming engineer, one of our most valuable staff members. He keeps those streams going live 24/7. And if he doesn't, he gets up out of bed and comes in here and fixes it.
I don't have to come in here. We've got Go to Manage.
I know. It's cool, huh? We finally got something that makes it easy to do that. Boy, I want to thank all of our reviewers. Colin, of course, Sarah Lane, Tony Wang, Eileen Rivera. I might mention that Eileen's only going to be on the show one more time because, well, maybe not. You know what? Maybe not. She's my producer. She's moving over to CBS to do a show with Molly Wood, which is exciting. She'll continue to do all about Android, and maybe we can get her in here and Before You Buy from time to time. So we wish you all the best. Big hugs to Eileen Rivera, who's been doing such a great job with us for the last couple of years on Twit. Thanks to all of you for joining us. Thanks to Nicole Lee, our producer, for getting all this good stuff. Got some more good stuff. In fact, next week I'm going to take a look at this hot new Dell XPS Ultrabook. And I asked Nicole, I said, get me this Ultrabook. I saw it because John Dvorak had one. It looks really great, but I've got one test I want to perform that nobody else has performed. Can I put Linux on it? We'll have the answer next week on Before You Buy. You can catch the show live every Thursday around about 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern Time on twit.tv, but really it's best to watch the download because we have the whole thing put together for you. And that's usually available by Friday of the same week. Just go to twit.tv/BYB. If you have an email, a question, a comment, something you'd like us to review, please do send an email along to byb@twit.tv. I'm Leo Laporte. Thanks for joining us. And remember, you gotta watch before you buy. Thanks a lot. Take care, everybody.